And welcome everybody to the MNUFC podcast. I'm Tony. I'm here with Dave and Dave Stevens, Dave Sterling. I'm Tony Pervenanzi. We're coming to you today from Doña. I'm going to screw this up.
Doña Cervecería.
Yes. It is one of the hardest breweries we've been to in terms of saying the name.
Yeah, other than Utapils.
Utapils was,
in my opinion, that was the hardest one.
Yeah.
I think you can simplify it just by thinking cerveza.
Cervecería.
And add a ria.
Yeah, there you go.
Essentially how you'd say it, cervecería.
I was sitting in the Jeep actually before you guys got here, and I had Google Translate up.
Yeah.
And I was having it pronounce it over and over because I was like, okay, I mean, this shouldn't be that difficult.
No, it shouldn't be.
And it's not that difficult.
It's not.
But
The vowels are just that much different.
I said it numerous times, and of course, I go to say it on the podcast, and I screw it up.
Yeah.
And we had Tony and I had shared a ride down here. We were practicing our pronunciation, kind of like Ron Burgundy style. Cervecería.
And of course, I screwed up.
And the one actually I'm most probably guilty of is I just want to say Ladonna, but I think it's more like
it's Doña.
Doña.
Yeah, with a little.
So like our beers are
Yes.
Doña in there.
So I want to thank Sergio once again for letting us come out here, giving us the stage. There are not a lot of people here yet, and I think that is due to the fact that it's flipping cold outside. Boys.
And it opened up just
and it
about
just
a half
opened.
hour
Yeah.
ago. We were the
but
first people.
It also is very cold. We're going to set a record for the coldest March day ever, which is fantastic. We're having beers right now. Sergio gave us a couple beers. I'm doing the El Rey, which is their IPA, and again, like all the IPAs I've had before, you can't beat an IPA from most of these microbreweries.
Oh yeah,
they make them fantastic. So
agreed.
Sterling, what'd you get?
So I've got the Sueños. It's a brown ale. I like this. It's Patagonian malts. I mean, so there's the European and American too, but I don't think I've ever had a beer with South American malts.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Can't say I have.
Patagonia's in South America, or is it Latin America?
It's very South America.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I should know that as a hiker. I should know Patagonia. I mean, I'm going to get a growler of this.
There you go.
It's fantastic.
There you go.
It's probably one of the best brown ales I've had.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so I can basically piggyback right off your description of the beer because I essentially had the Sueños as well, only mine was infused with coffee, so it's actually called Sueños de Café. And actually the interesting thing about it is the same beer as the Sueños, the brown ale, and then they actually use Minneapolis-based Up coffee roasters
for
their coffee.
Yeah.
And I love the coffee blends. I know I've talked about it, I think, before where, one of my favorites is up from Duluth. It's Bent Paddle. They're cold pressed. But this I feel is not as coffee heavy.
Okay.
So if maybe you're not a big coffee fan, regardless, I think it's worth a try. It's very good.
And to piggyback that, Up Coffee, they're fantastic. I've had a few.
I've heard of them.
I think I've maybe had 2 bags of their stuff, and it was a rum infused, and I want to say it was a whiskey infused.
Now, how do they make coffee infused with rum? Do they instead of watering it with water, do they water the coffee plants with
they
with
soak
rum?
the beans?
Well, yeah.
I mean, obviously, it would be much better if they used rum instead of water. But,
Watering with rum. Here you go.
So does Up Coffee? Do they have? Is it just something you buy in the store? Do they have cafes?
No, I think
around?
the only thing you can do is go online.
Oh.
And they had, the last time I was online and looked at their stuff, they've got 30 different blends.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So again, we're out here. They have a mini soccer field out here, which is why we came here. I've known about this place coming up. I've seen the announcements, and I saw they had a soccer field. And it's a 3-on-3 soccer field right out back. So they have leagues going on in the summertime.
Yeah.
I think next year they're going to start a broomball league out there.
That's what I saw online.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I really want to come back here in the summertime and do another podcast and see the field and kind of see people playing out there. And, it's cool for a brewery to have a mini soccer field.
Oh, yeah.
And then just looking at it, it's a huge space. It looks like they have garage doors that can open right up to that field. And, you first brought it up earlier this summer, and I think that piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see that, especially with our, podcast, Soccer Base.
Yeah, and just like last episode, I've been trying to get some pictures of the brewery to put on Instagram. So, guys, I'll try to get a picture as much as I can of the soccer field and the rest of the brewery because it's a cool space. And we'll get those on Instagram.
Yeah. So I want to say you can find Lunacy Podcast on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn. We're also part of the BGN network, bgn.fm, and part of the Minnesota Podcast Network. That is podcastmn.com. We also are rebuilding our website, lunacypodcast.com, I believe.
That's correct.
So we have our pictures on there with little bios of ourselves. We, at some point, will have some news stories in there. Of course, all of our events that we're doing, where we're going, where we've been, are all on the website right now.
Yep.
We will have email addresses, so if you guys want to email us, feel free. So, yeah, we're starting that up, too.
Yep.
So, guys, let's get into last night, because we all ended up at Finnegan's in Minneapolis to watch the first game of the season for United. We were there. It was True North Elite that was their kind of watch party. There were watch parties all over the metro yesterday. Every supporters group had a watch party somewhere. The main watch party for the Loons was actually at CityWorks downtown.
The official
one. I know here, Sergio was telling me they had a supporters group. I think it's Minneapolis, a new supporters group.
It's Fists of the North.
Fists of the North, yeah. And so they were here doing their watch party. So we were there, and it was a fantastic atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe 7,500 people.
Yeah.
It was standing room only, and that was kind of my concern. That, we all kind of got there early enough to get to grab a seat, especially you, David. But it was a great atmosphere.
Great atmosphere, great beers,
and that did we bring that up? But True North Elite, they hosted the watch party, and that's where they're gonna. That's their kind of base for away matches going forward all season long. So,
of course, home matches they'll be at Dual Citizen,
right?
So I'm sure we'll be there for a home match or two. But we got the win, guys.
Yes.
And it was great to get a win in the first game after watching the last 2 years, the first game of the season, getting losses and kind of being down.
And how did they go? So, obviously, the inaugural match back in 2017 against Portland, also on the road, ended in a kind of a 5-1.
That was a goat rodeo.
It was never good.
No.
I think the highlight was, was it Ramirez, didn't he come in late and actually score the lone goal for the Loons?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think so. That was the one highlight I remember we took out of that, watching it up at Dave &
Buster's
in Maple Grove. But,
and we were the only ones watching it there, remember?
Yeah.
It was like me and you and Johnny and Jenny and Nels, and I think we were the only ones in the place watching it. Like, nobody else cared.
Right.
They're like, soccer? Minnesota has a soccer team now? Like, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And then last year, the opener was also on the road against San Jose. Didn't fare much better. The finals escaping me at the moment.
I think it was 3-2.
That sounds right. And we were together watching that one downtown, weren't we? I feel like, or was that a different match?
It might. I don't know.
I
I've
don't
gone
remember.
somewhere with the opener.
Where
I've
were
gone somewhere for all the openers, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if we were or not.
Okay, maybe not.
Might have been.
I think weren't we at Brits upstairs or something like that?
We could have been.
Anyways,
Yeah.
But basically, I guess what I wanted to bring up over the last couple of years, the season opener has not been well.
Well,
it's
and
not been treating us well.
Interestingly enough, even in the NASL days, the season opener has not been good to us. In fact, you have to go all the way back to 2014.
Wow.
For the last time we won a season opener.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, we don't start off too well.
No, but
not.
yesterday was a different story.
Well, kind of.
Kind of.
I thought it was a broken record, personally.
So let's talk. Let's get into this game, because we were sitting there. We're all excited because True North Elite, they're doing the whole chanting, and we're getting excited, and we're drinking and having a good time, meeting new people and all that stuff. And Dave, what did you say? You said you wanted the first 10 minutes to go smoothly.
That was. I didn't have a lot of concerns, questions, comments. I mean, it was basically I was excited. That's all. If I could sum it up in one word, just the excitement of the room, the excitement of the first match. But yeah, basically, I think I mentioned to both you guys. Listen, all I want to see is a clean first 10 minutes, and I think after that, my nerves will be settled a little bit, and we'll just ease into the match. 10 minutes. That's all I wanted. A clean 10 minutes.
Speaking of it, it was. I think in the first season in 2017, it was kind of like the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then last year's maybe like the first 12 minutes.
Yep.
And now the fact that Dave dropped to 10 shows that maybe he's a little bit more positive about what we're going to do. But of course.
But Dave, what
could
happened?
Not possibly happen.
What happened in minute 6, Dave?
Well, it didn't take long. Like you said, minute 6, they gave up a set-piece goal.
It did.
And it was a set piece.
Yeah,
Right.
it was a set piece.
Right.
And the atmosphere at Finnegan's went from very high to just dropped. And I think, Sterling, I looked at you and said, seriously,
Yeah.
why do we have to go this way? Can't we have a clean match where we just win 1 or 2-0? I mean, come on.
Everybody was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing. You could feel it. I know. True North Elite. That's why it was fun watching with True North Elite and the supporters group. They do their best to keep everybody involved.
Yeah, they
regardless
immediately
of the
started
score.
to chant to try to get people going again.
And then, and to be fair, I mean, other than the goal, which is kind of a big deal because now you're starting out on the road down a goal, but that first 10 minutes, like I was talking about, it was run of play was actually fairly good in the Wild's in favor.
The entire game, run of play was actually decent. I mean, up until the last probably about 15 minutes, we dominated possession.
We did.
Even if it was occasionally some lateral back passing to just hold possession.
Yeah, there was a lot of holding.
Yeah, we still controlled every aspect of that game.
I think the possession. Yeah, you're right. The first half possession numbers were pretty much staggering. I think it was close to 60-40. I think it might have been 58-42 at half. And it was, I think, to take a line from Kendra and Callum calling the game last night, it was not just possession, because there was a lot of games last year where we'd look at the stats and we'd say, oh, well, the possession was good, possession was great, but what the word that they used to describe it was meaningful possession.
Right, yeah.
And I think that applies, because that's exactly what it was. We parlayed that possession into legitimate chances.
Yeah,
We did.
and the cool thing is, I mean, anybody can do this. Major League Soccer on their website, if you go to the match center and you go to the box score tab, I believe it is, they have the chalkboard.
Okay.
And so you can literally select a team or select an individual player, and you can do passes, unsuccessful passes, crosses, all this stuff. And if you just select Minnesota and you just select successful passes, and you see all of our passing, it was, in my opinion, I would say 75% of our passing was meaningful.
Meaningful, yep.
And last year, it was always, if you looked at the chalkboard, it was like this U. It was almost a horseshoe.
Sure.
Where the passing on both flanks was in, and then right down somewhere between our defensive box and the center circle. It was just like passing back and forth.
Yep.
Back passes and all
Yep.
this. And it wasn't quite that way this game.
Yeah.
And that's positive, as Dave, you pointed out. Them saying meaningful possession, I completely agree. Yeah.
Right.
Let's get into that first goal, though. And I want to bring this up because giving up that first goal, we talked about this on this podcast. I've talked about it numerous times since we got all these new signings and putting new guys on the pitch.
Right.
Communication is going to be a big concern in the beginning of this year. And that first goal on that set piece, there was a communication breakdown.
Without a doubt.
You could tell right after the goal was scored, Calvo looked around at his teammates going, okay, which one of you was on this guy? Which one of you was I supposed to be there? Were you supposed? I mean, there was confusion.
Yeah, I would agree completely.
And if you want to play if you want to play the role of an optimist, I mean, I think that's something they can go back and look at and fix in relatively short order.
Yeah.
It was the first match of the season. I think it's something that's completely correctable.
But also in the preseason, it's not like that back four always played.
No,
I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I would guess they probably put in 150 minutes together in the preseason, maybe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those communication issues are going to happen.
Yeah.
Preseason isn't even about necessarily playing. It's just getting that shape and getting that formation together and understanding what's going on. So even then when they're playing